The emptiness of endless pursuit. Hello, and welcome. Today we're not discussing theory. We're sharing a story, a raw, honest account of transformation. This is the journey of Mark, a man who, like many, found himself adrift in the modern current of instant gratification and perpetual depletion. Mark had all the hallmarks of a successful life on paper: a decent job, a nice apartment, and a busy social calendar. Yet, beneath the surface, he was hollow. His life was a reactive cycle: chase a fleeting pleasure, experience a brief high, and then crash into a deeper state of apathy and low energy. Mark's existence was characterized by a severe lack of internal fire. He struggled with his creativity felt stagnant, often delaying important projects because he lacked the sustained mental vitality to tackle them. Choked by the constant fog of a mind that was perpetually overstimulated and undernourished. Socially, he was anxious. He would avoid sustained eye contact, his body language was slumped, and he often felt like a pretender in his own life. His relationships, particularly with women, were driven by neediness and insecurity. He was constantly seeking external validation, temporary fix, because he couldn't find his center within himself. Mark was a classic example of the depleted man, believing his energy was finite and squandering the most potent resource he possessed. He was, in his own words, running on empty, watching his potential burn out like a damp fuse. The catalyst and the revelation, Mark's turning point, came not from a sudden epiphany, but from a gradual, painful realization that he had become completely reliant on external stimuli to feel alive. The rock-bottom moment involved a career setback, a crucial presentation. He completely botched due to overwhelming anxiety and a sheer inability to focus. Humiliated and desperate, he retreated into a period of self-reflection. It was during this time, exploring avenues for self-improvement and ancient wisdom, that he stumbled upon the practice of semen retention. Initially, he dismissed it as fringe and mystical, but the core principle resonated deeply: the idea that his most potent creative and vital energy was being carelessly thrown away. The concept was simple, yet radical: conserve and transmute. He learned that this energy, revered as Jijie in Taoism, was the foundational life force that nourished the brain, fortified the endocrine system, and fueled true, sustained charisma. Skeptical, but determined to claw his way out of the pit of exhaustion and anxiety, Mark made a commitment. The initial days were a battle of pure willpower. The urges were intense, but every time he chose discipline over instant gratification, he felt a subtle, almost imperceptible shift, a small surge of energy reclaimed, a tiny victory that reinforced his resolve. He realized the real challenge was not resisting an urge, but choosing his higher self. The first glow of the inner flame. The early days of Mark's retention journey were characterized by a profound emotional roller coaster. There were periods of heightened libido and mental restlessness, followed by unexpected waves of intense clarity and emotional stability. He observed the energy he was conserving. It felt like a low, powerful hum beneath the surface of his skin. By the third week, the most dramatic and undeniable change occurred. His energy consistency shot up. The chronic midday fatigue that had plagued him for years vanished. He woke up feeling genuinely rested, his mind immediately clear and ready for the day, without the desperate need for caffeine. This newfound physical vitality was the foundation for everything that followed. His workouts became deeper and more satisfying. He felt an innate strength, a resilience in his body that he hadn't experienced since his teens. More importantly, the brain fog that had made focused work feel like wading through mud lifted completely. He could sit down and dedicate hours to complex tasks without his mind wandering. This increase in mental bandwidth was the first unmistakable sign that the conserved energy was being successfully transmuted. Channeled upward to fuel his cognitive power, the inner flame was no longer an ember. It was a steady, growing warmth, giving him the power to execute his intentions. The unshakable gaze and the alpha presence. As Mark continued his practice, the transformation deepened into the psychological and social realms. The shift in his presence was nothing short of miraculous. The anxiety that once made him shrink away from social interactions began to dissipate. His posture naturally straightened, his movements became more deliberate, and his voice gained a deeper resonance. Most strikingly, he developed an unshakable gaze. He could hold eye contact effortlessly, maintaining a connection that was both intense and calm. This wasn't an aggressive stare. It was the look of a man who was deeply present, grounded, and unafraid. This change had a transformative effect on how others perceived him. In professional settings, his colleagues began to seek his opinion, drawn by the quiet confidence and calm authority he exuded. He started leading meetings with a clarity and composure that commanded respect. In his personal life, his interactions with women changed fundamentally. He was no longer needy or desperate for approval. He became the undepleted man, a man who was whole unto himself, whose presence felt reliable and secure. Women responded not to his attempts to impress, but to his inherent vitality and grounded nature. He realized that true attraction was not about what you say, but the energy you radiate. He was projecting an aura of inner sufficiency, and that was magnetic. Anchoring the creative flow, the ultimate fulfillment of Mark's journey lay in the transformation of his creative life. The conserved sexual energy, which is the rawest form of creative energy, now had a designated outlet. Mark was a latent writer, but before retention, he would constantly start and abandon projects. Now, he found that when a creative urge arose, he had the disciplined focus and the vital energy to fully engage with it. He channeled the powerful, intense energy of desire directly into his writing. The flow state, once a rare and elusive phenomenon, became a frequent visitor. He completed the novel he had been stalling on for 3 years in a focused 6-month burst. This transmutation taught him a powerful lesson, that the energy we often squander on fleeting gratification is the same energy required for sustained creation and legacy building. It was the fuel he needed to ascend from merely consuming culture to actively contributing to it. His fire was no longer used for destructive immediate urgency. It was harnessed to forge a life of meaning. He found a profound joy in the process of purposeful work, understanding that the true reward of retention wasn't external attraction, but the internal satisfaction of living fully aligned with his highest potential. The unending journey of the man who found his fire. Marquez's story is a powerful testament to the idea that your energy is your choice, and that semen retention is one of the most direct paths to reclaiming the sovereign self. He went from being a man defined by low energy and anxiety of boat tossed by every passing wave to a man anchored by an immense inner reservoir of vitality. The fire within is not magically bestowed. It must be consciously stoked. This practice gave Mark the discipline to manage his internal resources, the clarity to pursue his highest goals, and the authentic presence to connect with the world on a deeper, more meaningful level. His journey shows that the true power of an undepleted man lies not in aggression or external displays of dominance, but in an unshakable, quiet strength derived from internal mastery. It's a continuous path of vigilance, intention, and conscious choice, a lifelong commitment to transmutation. For anyone feeling the familiar ache of depletion and the sting of unfulfilled potential, Mark's story offers a compelling and actionable truth. The fire you seek is already within you. You just need to stop draining the fuel and start aiming the flame. Before we conclude, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and Dan T, forget to drop your location in the comment side. Love to know where you're rewatching from, and if you ever have any questions, join our Telegram channel where we interact directly and help each other grow. The link is in the description. PL's comment on which topic you need a video series. Your suggestions, welcome to motivate us.